Oh yeah, Disco Jew, yeah. Oh yeah, we're live, 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 live.
We're live. You know what? I haven't done
Fuck
this in a
with it,
while, Wizard.
episode 11.
Oh,
Whoa.
sorry. Yes. I think this is episode 12, actually, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. I haven't done this in a while. Let's do it for old time's sake. Here we go.
We'll do it live.
Yeah.
Do
All
it
right.
live.
We're doing
I'll write it and we'll
live.
do it live. Thing sucks.
All right, that's about the most vulgar we'll have right here. Sorry, guys, but it's just tradition to have done it that way. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us for this live program right here, this live edition of the Theme
Doing
Park
it
Gamers
live.
podcast.
We're doing it live.
That's right. That's right. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much. And hey, if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for joining us that way. Ain't no issues. I know this is not necessarily conventionally what we do, but when Wizard came up to me and said, "Hey, look, listen, we should do this," it's like, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Hey, Theme Park Casual, what is going on?
Oh,
It's
hey
awesome.
kids. Hey kids.
Ah, great to see you, sir. I do appreciate it. You are killing it in the streaming game. We have got to reconnect here. Far too long. But while we are congratulating everyone for watching, let's go ahead and give them something to watch. I think the first story that we got to hit, it's got to be this water parks thing, man. This has been on my mind for so long here. New, starting with the Disneyland Resort Hotel, stays in 2025. Guests can enjoy complimentary admission to either Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach on your arrival/check-in day. Also new, 2025 Walt Disney World packages and tickets will be available to purchase starting tomorrow, February 27th. That's right. Any of the one or the one water parks that they have, because they never keep both of them open now, you can actually visit them on the day that you actually check in, which optically sounds awesome, and it is definitely a step in the right direction. Not taking away anything from that, but Wizard, I think the savvy amongst us kind of looked at this with a little bit of trepidation, right? Could you go ahead and inform us what you quickly remarked on when this happened?
Oh yeah, because see here I'm in California, but no, not on my check-in day. I know the check-in's at 3, but the flight's like 5 hours from here, so you have to get there we have to take an early flight. And there's a 3-hour time difference to actually take advantage of it. So like even if I took a 6 a.m. flight here, I'd get there at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and get the hotel and check in. It's 3 o'clock anyway, and then I still only have 2 hours because if it's in the off season, they're only open till about 5 p.m. the water park. So it's pretty useless for someone like me, but for the locals, it can be quite the boon.
Yeah, and if you're, there are ways to take advantage of this. I think a lot of people. I mean, instinctively, I just thought, I'm with you, Wizard. If you go in the summer, right, and there's a 3-hour time difference between Florida and California, you go on a flight. I mean, that's easily a 6-hour flight, starting at probably, like you said, 6 or 7. You're not going to be landing until, 3 or 4? And if these water parks close as early as they have been, they could magical express your bootay, as Casual would say, from the plane to one of these water parks directly, and you wouldn't have a chance to take advantage of this. So in that way, it's a way of optically saying, hey, look, we have this this valuable option here if you stay on property. But then if you really look at it, it really kind of falls down from there. Now, as Rogue Attraction brought up in today's That Park Place, yeah, he was actually saying, hey, look, listen, if you maybe stay somewhere else and then cut up your stay and then stay at a Walt Disney World resort either in the middle of your vacation or switch where you're staying, then you could necessarily take advantage of this. And that's true. Universal Studios, for example, if you're staying for Epic Universe and you want to include a Walt Disney World stay in that, then you could possibly take advantage of that, right? So when you look at it that way, it's like, okay, well, that's not so bad. I guess a Fort Wilderness cabin goes for as cheap as like $100 or something, and you can fit 9 people in there. So maybe if you split the costs, then y'all go to the water parks for free. That's an interesting idea as well. Like there are ways to do it, but you basically have to take up that course that's teaching Disney. You see this, Wizard? You have to take that in order to take advantage of this.
Yeah, and again, unless you live there, but if you're coming from a far as a ways, then it could be a little bit difficult there.
It could be it could be a little bit of a struggle. But here's the thing, Wizard. Embedded in all this good news, well, it's the Walt Disney Company, and there's got to be some bad news as well. Starting in 2025, ticket price increases were also announced. So for all the good stuff, you got to have some bad, I guess. And well, this is the bad, which is really strange because this is starting in 2025. Epic Universe is opening. Why in the world would they be pricing themselves higher when Epic Universe is opening, and they're going to need all the? You would think they would need all of the incentive for people to stay at Walt Disney World. Perhaps they feel that demand is going to go up across the board, and they're thinking, well, we can get ahead of the game and just increase prices now in order to take advantage of the increased demand in Central Florida. That's a possibility. But Wizard, what do you think's behind this?
I really, actually, to be honest, nothing. I think we increase prices every year around the same times. I think the lowest price increase is only $10. So I think it's just the typical annual price increase that Universal will also do in 2025, and Disneyland and Universal and SeaWorld and all of them. They'll just the typical annual price increase. I think that's what, in my opinion, that's all about. Especially because it's a relatively low jump up.
Yes, and the cheapest. What is it? The cheapest rate here, I believe, goes up as about $109 if you stay at Disney's Animal Kingdom. It looks like, versus the cheapest rate at Universal. Interestingly enough, went from $109 to $119 in November. This is interesting because I think, comparing the two, looking at it, I think Animal Kingdom has fewer attractions, and I think is for me, it's a little less valuable than either Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios Florida. So, for me, I can kind of I kind of get it. And look, Universal's going to have increased demand when Epic Universe opens, right? So it does make sense that they would price themselves a little bit higher at this point. But it is very interesting because it's not too often where something is more expensive at Universal than it is at Disney.
Oh yes, yeah, but their prices too creeping up higher too. So just all go around the board, especially at Universal as Epic Universe opens up. They'll want to increase prices to get all that monies and increase demand, so it makes sense.
I could see it, but here's the thing. This is all just coming days off the news that apparently Walt Disney World is ranked the #1 rip-off tourist attraction in the country. So again, this is why I bring up this is kind of questionable that Disney's doing this, especially when they have nothing new that they're adding, but yet we're going to increase these costs as much as we can, I guess. if we break it down by state, interestingly enough, if you look at California, Disneyland apparently is the biggest ripoff in California, and in Florida, obviously, Walt Disney World. This is based on a bunch of, I guess, TripAdvisor data and some other metrics that they're using. This Casino.org here. I think it's a little fascinating what they're suggesting with biggest ripoff. Obviously, it's the perception of value. Oh, go ahead.
So how do they how do they determine that?
Yeah,
the guys still wouldn't agree.
Yeah, I mean I guess it's some of it's reviewer data and people's kind of regretting their purchase of a Walt Disney World Vacation off of what they experienced, right? So I think there's a kind of the perception of value is very important in this survey, or in this study, which is, I think, is interesting. I don't think it's necessarily definitive. Obviously, there are better ways to spend thousands of dollars, right? If you're looking at it that way. So I think it's interesting. It definitely made the headlines, though. We can see this broadcast right here, provided by actually Marty Snyder, friend of the channel, friend of the show, friend of us for sure. This is what played in KTLA.
The happiest place on earth has been ranked as the biggest rip-off tourist attraction. That is according to a new survey by Casino.org. Both Disney parks in Florida and California earned the top rip-off title in their respective states. And Disney World was voted the biggest swindle in the country. The group gathered data by pooling top results on Google Trends and TripAdvisor, along with not-so-favorable keywords. They then surveyed more than 5,000 Americans to affirm the information. Disney ticket prices can top $100 a day, with food and drinks in the park averaging about $70 a person.
All right, let's check in with...
Yeah, so there you go. I mean...
Let's see, there you go, right there. And he's just said it. One of those things that immediately made me spell almost everything they just said there. And they got some of the info from Google Trends. I hate when people use that crap.
I agree.
I
agree.
I hate when people use Google Trends. Now, look, I paid nearly $300 for a Drake concert ticket. Now, Drake's my favorite dude. I had a good one, great time, but I still find that more of a ripoff than going to really any theme park, actually, in my opinion. From the more hours you go to,
Yeah.
That was like 2 versus like 12 or 16 at like Disneyland or Universal, one of those places. The only ripoff, the actual true ripoff at a Disney park, would be at the lower price of the Lightning Lane. That's the only true ripoff, in my opinion. The rest of it, I don't think it's a real ripoff. If it was, people wouldn't go.
Yeah. I think the perception around these places is starting to change a little bit, just because of the incremental price increases that we have seen, especially the very aggressive ones of the last couple of years or so. Think about the perks, right, Wizard, that used to come with a Walt Disney World Vacation, for example. They used to give out, Fast Pass Plus reservations, for example, if you were staying on property, but you still had Fast Pass Plus included in your stay. You had Magical Express. You had packages that include the dining plan. You had magic bands. You had a lot of these things that were taken away, unfortunately, over the years, and I think that's contributed to this perception that Walt Disney World is a beyond luxury item, and that you necessarily don't get your money's worth for how much you're spending. And I think some of that is also attributed to the lack of maybe entertainment options that used to previously exist and so forth. And Disney's getting better at that. But I think this is some of what's coming from. I do agree with you, Wizard. You go to a concert, you're going to be spending buku bucks on tickets. A drink, if you're mad at drinks and popcorn, folks, in a theme park.
Oh yeah,
go to the concert. It's crazy. I mean, $20 beers.
And when it doesn't taste, it tastes like cardboard versus like actual effort provided by Disney, at least in the popcorn department, churros and Universal with their snack. Like, whoa! I remember I actually got some popcorn at the Drake concert, and boy, did I regret it. I was like,
yeah,
terrible.
Not very good, folks.
For Disney World, yes. with those, the terrible those things keep taken away. So I can see definitely more. I'd say if you were to even just take the 2 Disney parks, I feel like Disney World would be more of the ripoff because the things taken away. But I remember on that list, they got a Disneyland and one in California. But at least I feel like in Disneyland's perspective, specifically, besides the Lightning Lane, we still have a decent amount of entertainment with more coming. And we didn't get a price increase yet, but it's coming. But definitely I feel like between the 2 Disney parks, Disney World would be more of the ripoff, at least in the public perception, because they just got a lot of things slashed from them, I feel like.
I think so. We've seen a lot of stuff slashed, like you said, Wizard, and I do think that perception. I think that's why Walt Disney World may have won out on this survey, and also too. I mean, probably per capita, so many more people go to Walt Disney World over Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting discussion. I'm not sure if it has necessarily scientific value, I guess, but it did make the headlines, that is for sure. Hello there, Brand. What is going on right there? Oh, Brandon.
Oh, for the 6 people watching, don't forget to like the video, but also, which one do you think is more of a ripoff, Disney World or Disneyland? And then, do you think it's a ripoff? And let us know in the comments below. Or do you think Universal's a ripoff? Who knows? Who knows?
Hey, we could have some contrarians out there. Dollywood's a ripoff. No. That would be very... Yes, that would be very funny. Speaking of ripoff, I can't transition with this one, folks. I'm sorry. Drones.
Drone-offs. Ooh.
Yes. Speaking of entertainment offerings that have been cut, maybe being added in order to get away from that rip-off perception, drones take flight over Disney World, fueling speculation of future nighttime shows. This is very interesting because if you've been watching this channel specifically, and this show specifically, whether you're listening to it or watching it, you will know that we have been talking about drones and the likelihood of them taking off at a place like Disneyland or Walt Disney World. This comes to us via www.magic.com right here. Walt Disney World fans who may be feeling a little envious of Disneyland Paris's drone shows may have something soon to get excited about. Disney has recently tested drones at Walt Disney World, and an eagle-eyed WDW Magic reader spotted a flight at Disney Springs this week, just after 7:30 p.m. The drone made several loops around Disney Springs Lake before returning to its launch pad in the parking lot behind Cirque du Soleil. The drone, illuminated with a bright purple show light, carried out several more takeoffs and landings as part of the test. So this is significant for a number of reasons. We have seen drones kind of used, I believe, at Disney Springs before in some capacity.
Yeah,
I think
the Intel drones.
Yes, I was just about to say the Intel had a collaboration with them. That's right. And obviously, people are going crazy about this drone show over at Disneyland Paris. That just looks absolutely phenomenal. I believe the company itself produced some footage on this. If I have it right here, I believe I do. Yes, I do. It just looks absolutely stunning. People are like, when are we going to get drones? And it was interesting because Marty came on this show and explained to us in very excellent detail that flight map, that those flight restrictions over Walt Disney World and Disneyland specifically. Oh, I just closed the Walt Disney World one. My bad. Sorry. Are the things that are keeping this back. Interestingly enough, though, Disney Springs is just outside of that flight restriction over Walt Disney World, which is why that could be a viable prospect in that area. But we're going to have to see. This is a developing story, obviously. There's also a House bill going through that might get rid of Disney's flyover or flight restriction over the theme park. We've gone over this history before, but we are definitely watching this with keen interest for sure. Go ahead.
Before I give my thoughts, I want to give a little shout out to Bran here. He says,
absolutely,
cerebral palsy, which Oh boy, I have to admit I don't know what that is, but I will look it up. I know I heard of another palsy, something that the vaccine can give you, but um something. Because I love watching you two. I'm going to start a Magical Trips meetup and events for people with disabilities at the theme parks. I think that's so cool, and I would love to join you. We'd love to join you. That's
Absolutely.
always good to set up meetups, but also for people that are I don't want to say overlooked people that are for all types of people, all types of inclusive people. So good job, Brand. I'd love to hear more information about it.
100%. Please let us know, and we will
And
support in any way we can.
We'll share out your links. We'll do whatever you need, Brand, and not just on the theme park universe, but like theme park wizard, that park place, all that good stuff.
For sure.
And for the DM either one of us. But for the drones,
Oh yes.
which we call it, that super cool, because I don't know if you caught Braden's video, because he did talk about rumors of a drone show lasting from about a few months ago. They heard, but he dismissed them because his quote, how cheap Walt Disney World president Jeff Ball. I love when he talks about him. It's so funny.
Braden is fantastic. He is absolutely stunning.
And if you're watching this, Braden, because I know you follow Dr. Dre down there, we love you, man. But you did mention that he was like, he saw the testing. He's like, maybe this is something real. But he also mentioned that Disney has tested stuff before and not gone through with it. So I'm hoping that's not the case, because boy, Disney will need some nighttime entertainment, as again combined with those perks, right? It would be a good way to counter, or at least draw some crowds, some people coming for Epic Universe, to try to keep that share up. Right, to get a quick, even if it's let's say they can't overturn the bill or whatever, fast enough, so they put a drone show over Disney Springs or Epcot or whatever they have to do to kind of do it quickly. I know that Epcot Harmonious was rumored to have a drone element, and I guess it didn't happen.
Yes.
But so I think it's a good idea. Hope Disney doesn't cheap out or stop it, or because something like the drones that like Zedge, we never saw them again. Hope they do it, because I think it'd be pretty cool. And again, if you're especially again, like you said, ticket prices, whether you increase them or not incrementally, it'd be nice to offer something and you increase the ticket price. So a nice drone entertainment show would be great, especially because, of course, Universal Studios Florida will be getting their own drone show this summer. So
right,
it'll counter something like we can do better than you. A couple more details on the drones that I got from Braden's video. I guess the Intel partnership, that partnership with Intel fizzled because they didn't like them. So they went to I forgot the name, but a new drone company, and this new drone company I believe it's actually the ones in Paris, the one who operates the Paris show. They opened up a new office in Orlando, so that's pretty interesting to keep watch on.
I think it's incredibly fascinating to see this space really kind of make its way out to the public in the way that it has. We've seen a number of companies, corporations, or sporting events, and all these different entities do their drone shows in various formats across the world. It would be great to have Disney really kind of jump into the space on a domestic level. And Marty Snyder, you are correct. If you look at this map here, this is the one for Walt Disney World, the flight restriction map. You can see that Disney Springs is just outside of it, which is why they were able to conduct this test freely. But you can see right here, Epcot is squarely in right there. The lagoon is just over that spot. If they could maybe reduce that, you are right.
I was going to say, so with the bill, I feel like this would be very easy, right? With the bill already in the Congress or whatever it is, and let's say, Disney's testing them, so maybe they want drone shows. Can't they just come together really quickly and be like, all right, boom, it's done, Because it seems like there's a bill out there to overturn it, and Disney doesn't want it, or it seems like it doesn't want it because they're testing those. This is a thing, and this is just really not Disney or support government. It's just the whole government slow process. I just wish they can come to hey, great, that bill, just pass it because we don't want them. So just go ahead and just do it tomorrow. Just get it done.
Yes. So you'll note, Wizard, that this bill emanating from Congress, attempting to remove Disney's no-fly zone here, all dates back to DeSantis's battle with Disney, right? And the Florida legislature and all that kind of stuff. So
and that's fine, but I mean, it seems like if they agree on something, even if two crazy people promote it, hey, take it as a win. Like, boom, it's proof. And Disney doesn't have to publicly say,
look,
let's do this. They can do the behind the scenes stuff, and be like, okay, what can we do? Just hurry up and pass this. And then it goes, ooh, no fly zone, that's abolished. And it looks like a Disney L, but it's really Disney win because they helped it.
Yes. All Disney would have to do is egg on these two congresswomen and just be like, you can't do this, and then they do it. No, I think what they wanted was they wanted their cake and eat it too. I think they wanted to allow for drones, but not allow for tour groups, not allow for larger manned aircraft, right?
Biger, make a concession, man. Just allow it.
That's
or at least allow it in some areas. Okay, maybe a no-fly zone over Epcot, but over Magic Kingdom, or a no-fly zone over Magic Kingdom, but over Epcot, you can. Right. There's nothing,
Yeah, I think you could make it. You can make an argument like, look, listen, Magic Kingdom maybe needs a flight restriction only because it could be involved in a high-profile incident, right? One I don't want to repeat on YouTube. So it's like, okay, maybe we keep that one, but we can go with that. But there are solutions. It's just it's
that
developing.
Ultimately really suck because the bats have drones over the castle.
I know. That's where you want them. It's a developing story. We're definitely gonna have to look at this.
Good. I want them helicopters flying, taking pictures of me, Marty. Come on, post the camera.
Speaking of helicopter tours, Newport, and the Disneyland Resort area, in fact, they just had a public planning commission meeting for Disneyland Forward that took place.
I'm curious. Sorry, does the Disneyland no-fly zone?
Yeah,
I believe you had it up there.
Yep.
How far does it cover? The whole, literally from one end to the resort or the other, or just the park?
Let me go ahead and get them both up here for us right here.
They ask, because let's say, I don't know, by some magical thing of Disneyland expansion forward that area, those parking lots are out of it, then boy, you a little drone show in that area.
Let's see right here. Sorry, I closed this out, and I really shouldn't have done that, and here we go. Okay. So
or even the Toy Story parking lot. I wonder, is it the whole area? It might be Marty knows. But okay, here it is. Oh, mother fudge. That's far.
So you can see right here, it covers all the way deep into Garden Grove.
Yeah, that's definitely the whole area. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's that's what they wanted. I mean, they loved it up until they didn't. So that's.
I know that's what they wanted. But come on, forward thinking, man. New technologies. Now look at it. New technologies and yeah, you can have a nice drone fireworks show.
I think they were spooked by what happened in 2001, and I think the lawyers.
But then, but they tried to, didn't they try to get a waiver or something? They got a waiver.
They got a temporary.
At some point,
yeah,
they got extended for a second, right?
And
they got for 4 years.
I think so they got an extension, but they didn't get the second extension. If I'm
showcase. My showcase.
Oh, their showcase. Yeah. So
the fact that they wanted the extension shows that at least back in 2016 or whenever they got it, they were thinking of it.
Oh, of course.
So man, I feel like they should. And then you can have some forward thinking and be like, okay, how can we make this permanent if they liked it, which it seems like they wanted to because they wanted another extension. So if you're thinking with your brain, you maybe want to try to do anything.
I know. That would be again. all of these things would be awesome. All of these things would be things that I potential solutions that I would definitely approve of or look forward to or whatever. But again, it's outside of Disney's control. And I think that's the biggest issue at this point right there. Speaking of things that are out of their control, though, Disneyland Forward. they had to talk with the city of Anaheim, and a meeting just took place. There wasn't much revealed here. However, they did go into kind of more details about Magic Way. This is the one that is adjacent to Walnut. So if it's between Pixar and the Pixar parking structure and a Disneyland Hotel parking lot. Is that right? It's like right between those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right over there.
Now, I guess a lot of people have been kind of like, they've had reservations about this, at least the city residents.
Time out. They've had reservations, really? Like in the park that day?
There was robust discussion of concerns. And Disneyland responded saying that 99% of the traffic on those roads were just either Disney visitors or cast members. So what they're saying is that the city of Anaheim wouldn't be impacted by this specific abandonment. Now, that's one of several, but at least in this one, which is particularly crucial for these Disneyland Forward plans, that wouldn't be affected, and that they want like a bike lane on Walnut, and there's some other concessions that they're willing to make to facilitate this abandonment project. So again, something we'll have to look at as this thing makes its way through the
and we got a big month next month. That'll be the first big vote of the planning commission, so that'll be exciting to see. Probably late in March, so that'll be pretty cool.
And that we will definitely cover here at the Theme Park Universe podcast. Speaking of things we cover, Amusement Insider just posted some animatics of both the Hollywood Drift coaster at Universal Studios Hollywood and the Donkey Kong coaster that is making its way in Japan, and also Epic Universe over there in Florida. So we'll go ahead and maybe not watch them all, but I kind of wanted to point out some things that were weirdly interesting to me, at least. First of all,
the track will start to be installed for Hollywood Drift this next month, so that'll be something to watch. Stay tuned to Theme Park Wizard for coverage on that.
Absolutely, 100%. Wizard, you're perfect on that. Yes, the track should be getting installed. Wizard has more information about this, so absolutely, if you haven't subscribed to Theme Park Wizard, what are you doing? Get over there. Hit the subscribe button. Let's go. Yes, this is going up fast right here, and this animatic that we're watching right here, like I said, produced by Amusement Insider, really does highlight not only the track itself and what sensations might be, what it would be to follow this in POV, but it really gets the spinning aspect, and that's kind of what I want to highlight here. If you look, and it's spinning with inversions, which is crazy, by the way, because Cosmic Rewind does not have inversions. So this is a unique aspect to this Intamin coaster. You can see right here this kind of drifting aspect of these coaster cars in these very high bank turns and these Intamin style elements as part of this coaster. It looks phenomenal, and it's gonna feel unlike anything you've ever ridden before, I can assure you. My mind was blown out when I rode Cosmic Rewind for the first time. I can't even imagine what this is gonna feel like.
Ooh, Doctor, it's going to be very fun.
Isn't it cool? Isn't it cool? And we also got Donkey Kong.
Hillside.
Oh, sorry about that. What was that?
What a great use of the hillside.
Oh, yes. A kind of a what do they call it? A terrain coaster, right? To take advantage of the unique topical features of this area is just awesome stuff. Cannot wait for this. But we also got Donkey Kong. And, oh, hey, what's going on there, Coach Joe? Thank you so much for coming in. Hey, thank you. I really do appreciate it.
We love the Coach Joe.
Oh yes, Coach is a big supporter, especially of the Pro Network and everything we're doing over there at that Park Place and everything like that. So thank you so much, Coach O, for joining us here to talk about a little bit of theme parks here. Now, Donkey Kong's unique element, as we've discussed, but I found this animatic, and I think it translates this as best as can be perceived, I guess. You can see that there is a real coaster track and a false coaster track, and what this is going to do is it's going to play a trick here in which it's going to make you believe that you're on the fake coaster track when in reality you are very safe on the real coaster track. And you can kind of see how that is. It's kind of like an arm that adjoins the coaster car to the actual real track. So it's a very interesting tech. We have not seen an animatic yet, but Amusement Insider was kind enough to generate one. So you can see right here.
Look at that.
We can see this coaster car jumping the false track while you're riding this thing. It looks absolutely phenomenal. You can kind of get an idea of the banks and stuff like that. Going over water, that's a great trick right there. It's awesome.
Yeah, then like they're going shooting through the barrel out.
Shooting the barrel. It's great. That's going to be a great visual for anybody looking at ground level here.
And that hut, that would be the Donkey Kong meet and greet. Or the Kong meet and greet. There's multiple Kongs over there.
They're saying 10 trains on this? That's pretty good.
Wee! Doctor! Wee!
Oh, yes. Very, very good. Oh, like the animatronic elements, like the themed elements. Those are going to be very, very cool to see what Universal does with those spaces right there. You can see jumping the track. You can see from this vantage point, they've really concealed it from your view while riding it. I was wondering how that was going to look. And it's so cool. This, by the way, this is the first time I'm kind of watching this in full, so this is kind of.
In that cave will be a tiki animatronic or something. The villain will try to get you. Maybe. Hello,
absolutely fantastic. Hey, baby. What is going on? Thank you for joining us. Right here. Oh, man. This. Come on, Wizard. How can you not be hyped after seeing that amazing video? Right there?
I know. It's me so cool. I mean, what a great family because they're highly themed. And I like, also, there's a lot of outdoor and indoor, so it goes like through the land, so it adds kinetic energy for the entire land, which is going to be pretty awesome.
Absolutely. But it still has your themed elements.
That
one would expect from a Nintendo coaster. This is just absolutely fantastic. I love everything about it. I cannot wait for this thing to debut. If this is even, I mean, this is just awesome. This is so cool.
There's so many broken track elements. That's been great. And you hop into. I can't wait to hop over the spikes. Like that look really cool.
Oh, so good, so good. I cannot wait.
Full POV later on this summer from Japan's version. That'll be pretty nice to see.
Yes,
real life.
We will be covering that. But you know what? You bring up an interesting point, Wizard. Speaking of Japan and what is coming right here. We now have more info on Fantasy Springs. The latest.
Fantasy. This is your fantasy.
You're singing the song from the commercial, aren't you? Yeah, well, they now have some ads that are playing in Japan right now, highlighting this thing opening June 2024. Fantasy Springs, the largest expansion ever added to Disney, to what Tokyo Disney Seas, and the largest addition ever since Tokyo Disney Seas opened in 2001, right? This thing is huge. It is 34 acres. This thing is massive for a price of, I believe, 320 billion yen or $2.1 billion. This is a huge, massive undertaking by the Oriental Land Company, who owns and operates these theme parks, and the Walt Disney Imagineers, who are building for them. So this is some amazing stuff right here. In fact, we have a video here.
Look at this.
where
Oh,
we can kind of
look at
go
this.
through it together.
Pocket. Take me there right now.
I know. Now I have things that I'm kind of like not so fond of, but but obviously there's a lot to love here. We'll talk about those as we move along here. But you can see the Peter Pan area, this Rapunzel area right here, the Frozen Kingdom. It just looks absolutely unreal, the level of detail. We will get back to this because I have thoughts on this specific element right here. But let's go ahead and let's absorb all the good stuff. Let's not get dragged down by what might be mediocre.
It's good because at least in the video, the way they edit, I like how they put the animated movie and then it fades to like the real life version.
I do really like that. Hopefully we don't get copyright struck. I don't think we will, but you never know.
So, public domain.
Yeah. It's not how that works. But okay.
Public domain. I have a lawyer.
I love this right here, by the way. This Jolly Roger.
Looks like the ship will be an interactive element, right? Because they specifically zoomed in on the table. So you'll probably be walking there, sit and play and stuff. I mean,
It does.
that'd be a nice spot. Which Tokyo seems to have a lot of nice spots. Just hang out and just relax, like just sit and enjoy.
It looks so good, right? And interesting, the relax and enjoy. That's kind of how the Jolly Roger used to be at Disneyland's Fantasyland when we had Captain Hook's pirate ship. If people don't know, behind the carousel was the pirate ship, and it was pretty close to full size. I mean, it was a very large thing. Unfortunately, back in 1955, they didn't have enough money for opening to paint both sides, so they painted the show side. Oh, it's great stuff there. But eventually, they did paint all of it, and it was the chicken. Chicken on the Sea restaurant, I believe. It had a couple of different things going on there. You can actually order things within it. And we were supposed to get this rebuilt when New Fantasyland made its debut in 1983. Unfortunately, with New Fantasyland, they had to move this pirate ship in order to make way for the repositioned carousel and Dumbo the Flying Elephants attraction. And when that happened, this thing completely crumbled and fell apart. And so they were forced to dismantle it. And the hope was that in phase 2, we would get a renewed Skull Rock and a new pirate ship. But unfortunately, that did not take place. And it was very, very sad. They eventually got their wish, though, in Disneyland Paris as part of Adventure Isle. That's where we see the Jolly Roger. And now, for the first time, in Tokyo. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. This is fantastic. I think another great, and it's pretty large. Again, I love how it's not a single IP, but multiple little mini lands and massive new like Fantasyland type thing for Disney Sea. I think it'll be well received out there in Tokyo.
Yes, I think so. I think these kind of play areas or these maybe a play/interactive area, I think really will play well there. We already see a little bit of that outside of I think Mysterious Isle, is that right, in Tokyo? Mm-hmm. So this exists in some way right now. Obviously, Fairy Tinkerbell, Busy Buggies. This is a very interesting attraction. It's a dark ride, right, Ethan? And it's supposed to be a family attraction.
No, family dark ride-ish, but it's like an outdoor ride. Like, you see the track right there, little bus bar. I guess you go to these oversized, or you're tiny like a fairy, and you can go through, I guess, their little environments, including
that
is environment, which is quite nice.
It's fascinating. I really want to see what this is kind of all about right here.
Mm-hmm.
The setting of it looks phenomenal. The queue looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at the railings right there. Every single one of those custom pieces right there is just absolutely phenomenal.
And even the lamps, little flower petals. lamps. Those are nice.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. What Disney will usually do with these kind of additions is though they want a big e-ticket attraction, but obviously it has a height requirement, so they would like to do a smaller ride to accompany that in order to allow families something to do all together. So
Makes me
that's
miss Bugs Land. It's reminded me of Bugs Land a little bit.
that's true. There is a little bit of Bugs Land right there. We'll have to see if there's any nods to Bugs Land embedded in this fairy garden here. Right here, this is the facade for the exterior for the large, big e-ticket attraction. This is why those volcanoes are that size, because apparently it's going to be big. It's going to be a very large 3D based attraction.
Very excited to see what that entails. Because I don't know.
I don't know either. I heard it was their version of Flight of Passage, but when you look at those
The ride
vehicles,
definitely looks much different than Flight of Passage. So.
yes, that's kind of where
Boy,
we're at right here. Let me see if I can find it.
suspended, do you think they'll be suspended? Oh, that'd be cool. Like, imagine like a massive super version of Peter Pan's flight, but like suspended version of these vehicles. You know? Like, that'd be amazing.
I have heard they are suspended and that they float, but again, I mean, this is a little bit strange here. We don't really quite know much about this, which is really unfortunate because I think this is the one that everybody's very intrigued in learning more about. Also, too, this might end up being the ride system used for the Marvel e-ticket attraction, if it still comes anyway, to DCA. So this is something that we all have a keen interest on.
Yeah. Which, again, you know, even if it's something like this, tell you some California Adventure could use a nice e-ticket dark ride like that. That'd be very beneficial for them, I'd say.
I would agree. But you saw the steam going out there. That's awesome. Rapunzel's Forest. This looks cool. The tower's a little undersized.
Unlike Moana, folks, I can guarantee you all of this stuff will be working a few months after opening. You don't have to plan your trip to Japan that quickly, because I guarantee it'll look just like this, even if you go in a year.
You know, I did get a little bit of information on that, by the way. I can't reveal it all, but you know, you get what you pay for, and apparently, the lowest bidder work doesn't quite work out sometimes.
Yeah, that's what Braden in his video, that same one about the drones, he talks extensively about that Moana, and he does mention maybe not the highest quality contractor they met with.
We'll just leave it there. Apparently, though, that didn't happen here. So the Wizard's right.
Oh well,
it'll be working.
Don't mess with that.
They don't mess. Hey, Japan, they have very high quality standards here. Like I was saying before, though, the tower is a little undersized. I would have thought that would have been a little bit bigger, but that's kind of just like a nitpick. The theory is that maybe, you know, you wanted to be able to see her from her tower, so that's why they made it the size they did. But the Snuggly Duckling right here, this looks absolutely phenomenal.
I want to go and dine in there.
Yeah, this is something the Imagineers have wanted to do ever since this movie came out. Interestingly enough, this movie came out right when New Fantasyland was really popping up. And they had designed Gaston's Tavern and everything like that, but there were a segment of the Imagineers who were like, man, we should have done the Snuggly Duckling. And finally we're able to see this.
And look, there's space for live entertainment. I like that.
Oh yeah, it looks phenomenal. Like you said, live
also
entertainment.
The Tangled ride sounds pretty cool. A nice little boat ride. You can see the lights, lanterns.
Yes.
That's another nice slow moving something again. California Adventure wants. That's what DC is. A nice slow moving boat ride. You know, something
right.
Like
desperately lacking that, and unfortunately boat rides, they take a lot of space, so maybe that's why, or one of the reasons why we haven't gotten a boat ride in DC.
Maybe that expansion pad they can forward a nice little.
Now you're thinking
boat ride. I mean, something like, but it could have a little drop like Pirates, but like something with no high requirement. You know?
I have been waiting for a boat ride based on Tangled for I mean, ever since I saw the movie, I thought this would translate so well to a dark ride in some fashion. I've been waiting for something like this for so long. To finally get it somewhere is really, really great. And hopefully, it's adapted for other places. But it looks really, really, really good. You can see the ride vehicle right there. This is the Frozen area. We've seen a lot of interpretations of Frozen over the years. Obviously, Hong Kong just got theirs. We have a little Frozen area in Norway at Epcot. This is, I don't want to say necessarily deluxe because obviously Hong Kong got 2 attractions instead of just one. But this is very premium still. We have the castle featured prominently within the courtyard there of the Kingdom of Arendelle. I don't think we've seen that before as of yet. Its dining location looks absolutely phenomenal. Look at the detail. Look at that. Look at the drone shot right there. Oh,
it's
so
huge.
good. Oh, absolutely awesome to see these paintings and stuff like
Look
here.
at that. Oh man.
This is some great stuff here. We can see recreations of some of the iconic paintings that we saw from the film, which is really, really cool. Great stuff.
I would
Look
go
at
that little Elsa animatronic in there.
Yeah.
Very nice. Just
They-
just in like a spot, just talking randomly or singing that.
They could do what they're doing on the Wish, which is like a little show along with this. That is possible.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah,
just
it
looks
looks like you took the movie and you placed it right here.
I love the lighting, by the way, that they chose for this right here. The kind of upward lighting that looks phenomenal. Everything here looks good. We're definitely going to have to see video of this space as we go forward. But something that I don't think worked out quite as well while we're in the middle of praising this as much as we are. Right here, the hotel, Fantasy Springs Hotel. This, I guess, is I believe it's 475 rooms, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just get that quote right here. Yes, 475 rooms. It's just, I don't know, Ethan. I want your take on this, but I'll set you up right here. The architecture, it just doesn't look that great to me. Even from this image right here, you can see the boxy nature of it. This is an ideal image that they put into this video specifically, and you can still see this kind of unthemed section right here.
Yeah.
The paint color is a little bit weird. The ornamentation is slapped on and not necessarily an outgrowth of this beautiful architecture. To give you an idea, folks, the Tokyo Standard has been ridiculous in the past. This is the Disney hotel here.
Incredible.
This looks phenomenal from every angle. It just looks great. You have the Miracosta, right, which is it flanks the opening of the entrance of Disney Springs right here. I'm sorry, not Disney Springs. Tokyo Disney Sea. You could see it looks phenomenal. When you look at this, it doesn't look so good. So, Ethan, your thoughts?
It looks cheaper. Yeah, for sure. And it looks more stucco-y. Like they've stucco on there instead of like the actual different ornate material. And the paint color, the paint color. I feel like I don't mind the pink or salmon, but I just wish it was like stronger instead of it looks like it's fading, at least from this angle a little bit.
I don't understand what they were going with here. I just don't get it. I don't like it. This is going to be a premier resort here. This is going to allow you direct access. This is going to be like the Helios for Epic Universe, for example. It's going to allow you direct access to this part of Tokyo Disney Seas. And it just doesn't look very good. I don't know. I think the Helios looks better, to be honest with you. That's kind of my...
Especially compared to those other hotels I already have there. I'm like, certainly not as good as those.
I agree. We're going to see what the interior looks like.
Nice perk that it's another hotel they have that enters to the parks. At least that has that going.
Yes, yeah. To have immediate access to the park like that's a really great feature. It will sell out. I'm not saying it won't, but it just doesn't necessarily live up to the standard of the other areas that we see.
Oh yeah, that for sure. Especially that Miracosta one. Oh, beautiful. In the same
Yeah.
park.
Yeah, there are some elements that we haven't seen yet, like the nighttime view of these entrance sculptures here. Definitely want to see that. I think those sculptures are a little bit underwhelming in the day. Let's see what they are at night, though. I think the Kingdom of Aradel looks really, really good. Tangled looks really, really good. And Peter Pan looks phenomenal. So we're definitely going to take a look at this when it opens in June of this year. But speaking of things opening soon, today, actually, Entertainment Weekly, Shrek returns to Universal Orlando Resort, an exclusive preview of new DreamWorks Land attractions. Here we go. Wizard, why don't you go ahead and take us through this?
All right. So yes, the DreamWorks Land opens this summer, 2024, in several areas. Think the Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, and Trolls, and plus kind of a generic and meet and greet area called and a show called the Imagination Pavilion or something like that. In the character zone. But for the Shrek area, you have Shrek Swamp, who will be meeting all the Shrek characters. And separately, there will be a Shrek play area for the little ones right behind his lovely swamp. And then you'll go to Mama Luna's area and meet some Puss in Boots characters as well. There's like an interactive feature with all the cats there, which sounds pretty cool. Vivid and interactive screens for the little ones. That kind of comprises the Shrek area, which is nice. Oh, and then there's King Harold's Swamp Symphony, which is a lily pad play area with a whole bunch of frogs and his King Harold in his frog form over there for the little bit. I'm sure they'll be singing as you jump on the lily pads, which is quite nice. And you'll get to the snack stand where you can have the Shrexel, the Far Waffle. I love these names.
I do too.
And more, which sounds fantastic. I don't know what they look like, but I'm intrigued. Like, shoot, as an adult, I'm intrigued. In the Trolls area, you have the Troller Coaster, which is the rethemed Woody Woodpecker's coaster with some new trains, which is from this Caterpillar, which apparently is in the movie. I haven't seen it.
That's cool.
But it's that Caterpillar there. And then you have Poppy's Playground, which is a playground under a mushroom, which I thought was going to be a swing flat ride, but it turns out it's going to be a playground surrounded by some nice benches in a nice shaded area. And then you have a treat stand called Poppy's Boombox, and you'll have some delicious drinks there. And then there's High Five Hideaway. Cloud Guy, which is apparently a character in the movie, has this nice retail location. And that looks like it's gonna have everything. Shrek, Trolls, that's like I guess the main retail area for the whole land there. And then Kung Fu Panda, which looks very good in my opinion,
Looks very good.
has a few things. They're gonna have like a Jedi Training Academy thing called Kung Fu Training Camp.
Ooh.
And it'll be teaching you some nice moves, and but also you're gonna help them do their laundry, which incorporates this is the re-theme, like it's Curious Georgia, so they have to bucket some. You're gonna get some water poured on you if you wanna. That's part of the laundry process, but you can stay on the dry side and do other parts of the laundry as well. But you have water cannons. There's Poe Live, which is the interactive meet and greet. A patent was filed for that last year, which looks pretty cool. And they also mentioned Mr. Ping's Noodle Shop. I'm curious if it'll be like the one that we had here in Hollywood, or if it's a different type of Mr. Ping's Noodle Shop. The one here in Hollywood was an interactive meet and greet and get some noodles with Mr. Ping. But
pretty successful. I mean, it was pretty in demand, and the noodles were actually very good, from what I understand, right?
yeah, so hopefully I think they want to bring that back over there. And then you have the other two things there, which is pretty cool. So it's a nice little area for the children, offering even more than the Woody Woodpecker area did. And it'll be open up this summer, probably in June, July-ish. It'll be quite nice. It looks pretty good and nicely themed And yeah, good stuff in West Florida and the children.
This is as opposed to what we just saw in Japan. This is a land geared towards the very, very little ones, right? So this is like your Toontown almost of this theme park, which is Universal Studios Florida. I like what I see. I really do. There's some of the theming going on here. This concept art does not do any justice. The theming is incredible. Like they're really top notch stuff right here. Almost
house has more shrubbery on the. Right now, it has more shrubbery than that currently right there.
Ooh. Yes. I mean, I am really looking forward to this. I think this is really, really cool. And especially in the lead up to the Epic Universe, people are going to find themselves in this park and they want, obviously, somewhere where their little kids can go. Currently, there's not a lot of places for that, unfortunately. But bunches up right against ET, I think this is going to be a phenomenal area, and I cannot wait to see it. Wizard, I know you have a heart out here. Is there anything else you want to cover in like 3 seconds?
I think we got to all the big stuff, which is pretty good.
Pretty good.
And look at all these lovely people that joined in the comments here. Look at this.
Yes.
Look at all that. That's incredible. I think this first live stream went very successfully, and look for even more on every 1st and 15th. March 15th will be a big one, guys. Make sure to subscribe, like, and Dr. Vash Guy, where can we find you?
Well, if I'm not on the Theme Park Universe podcast with you, Wizard, every 1st and 15th, well, I am on That Park Place with Jonas J. Campbell as we cover theme parks, video games, entertainment. We cover all kinds of stuff, right? And I'll also make appearances on the Pro Show every once in a while. Lorena's channel on the Spice Lounge. I'm all over the place, but the best place is going to be That Park Place.
Which one? Dr. Dre gets pretty spicy. Wink, wink.
A little spicy. Hopefully you can handle the heat.
But yeah, subscribe for more cool stuff, especially as that Disneyland Forward approval from the Planning Commission comes next month. You want to be there for that because we'll be on it. Breaking news on it.
We'll be on it. We'll be some of the first here, Wizard. If I can
enjoy
that link. There you go.
There it is. Boom! Like, subscribe, and have a epic day.